in Desert Hot Springs, California, multitasking, finally stretching my legs in the water and sharing happiness with whomever comes on. And yeah, with this bright light, I'm not sure that I'll be able to read comments, but I'm so very grateful for a day full of connections and, yeah, amazing conversations. Someone's breakthrough early in the morning, it was beautiful. Then I got to look in the mirror as I got triggered again by someone, and yeah, what's the principle of balance? What's going on there? And then my prayer call, where it's a call that has gone on uninterrupted, where two or more people meet together since we claim April 1st, 2020, although people remember it starting earlier in March. And this morning I was the only one there until just a minute before, and somebody else came on. I'm like, yes, we did not break the chain. And yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful call. I'm not going to go over the reading. Sometimes I do. I looked at it, and it was a reflection on the shrine of Susa. Well, not a shrine, but Susa being built and a place where one can visit during the height of the baptism by fire. And although it's closed for renovation now, I will be there in person later this year, and that's so exciting. And someone else on the call let us know that there's a replica of Noah's Ark right here in Kentucky. But I'll tell my story again anyway and see if it gets um, um, for light, found it to be an experience that they enjoyed. Um, Here, I see 2 views, and I got a thumbs up already. I'm happy for you. Thank you. So I'm remembering yesterday I shared this practice of light that I have with I can't see your name, but oi, hello. With these 3 young men, and as I thank you, 2 thumbs up. As I was wrapping up with as I wrapped up with offering light to the second young man, he stood up and he spoke in Spanish, which is not my language, but I could understand from watching the hands that at the beginning my mind was, jumbled or busy or something like that, and at the end, blanco. And I'm like, oh. And then he says, you need to come and get light. And so, I didn't even have to ask the next person, may I offer you light? Well, I did. But, he'd already been told, you need to get light. And yes, hello. Again, I can't read these names. The sun is glaring here. Let me try. Ooh. Starts with an R. Yeah. Forgive me. At least I can see that. Yeah, so what are you grateful for today? As if I could read those comments. And life is good. Life is good when what you do for a living. I mean, as I explained to each of these young men were like, thank you for doing that. And I was explaining, I live to spread this light. And if you feel drawn to it and you want to experience this light, let me know where you are on the planet, and I'll let you know where you can get light. I see another high back, come on. And I'm learning to watch live streams in direct sunlight, because, yeah, bum. You look like something. Well, thank you. I'm sure it's a compliment. Maybe I'll go back and read these another time. I am definitely not climbing out of the pool in a bikini just to get to the shade. Sorry, folks. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, yeah. So somebody asked me in a text, she knew I'd traveled here for the light. And she asked me in a text, what company do you work for? And I'm like, I work for God. My business is, like I told these young men, I'm all about just spreading the light. And it's a beautiful way to live. And by doing it, it gifts me opportunities like this one. A few days of rest and respite after a very busy couple of months, being a full-time caregiver. Yeah. So God, the universe, whatever force you want to credit, gives you these tests and trials and polishes you into this amazing flower that can blossom. It's a compliment. Thank you. Yes, I imagined it was. Thank you. And it's definitely well, yeah. I hashtag these things positive vibes for a reason. Yeah. Oh, so if you've been with me before, you've seen me spray this spray. It's a food substance that I use now. And so these young men that I was hanging out with yesterday was like, how old are you? And when I told them how old I was, they were kind of amazed. And you think your wife, Sonia, is mad at me. Well, why is Sonia mad at me? Hi, I saw Sonia in there. Hello, Sonia. Yeah, Court. Oh, Chelsea Winners? Hey, I almost wrote a name. Hi. Okay, so if your wife is mad at you, breathe deep, come from nothing, and bring her love. You know, who is she to you? Why do you want to connect with her? And whatever rumples are in the water between you, can you, you know, state what they are, be with them for a minute, and move beyond. I could invite you to an introduction to communications courses with Landmark Worldwide that teach you this stuff. However, it's now, oh, well, it's two now, three, four, five. It's probably still good. Go over to Landmark Worldwide. And yeah, I don't have the link in my mind. I am on vacation, but there's an introduction over by the Eastern team tonight. Direct message me. I don't know. If you're interested, let me know. She's come back in here. Tell her I was here. Okay, you have to go. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for we got 3 thumbs up. I appreciate it. And yeah, whatever rumples are happening in your life, learn to face that person with love. I mean, I had a rumple this morning. Somebody said something that set me off again, and I'm like, oh, F this, and, stomped out in the Zoom room and said, you guys can have it. And, very childish behavior, but that's where I was. And I got a message from her, hope that we can work it out, maybe by next week. And yeah, we'll work it out for next week, and I'll get my head around it. I'll do a restoration of, recommit to the relationship and say, this is how I was listening to you as, and this is what it meant for me and the impact it might have had. And yeah, so anyways, it's nice that you were stopping by, and I could pull up the teachings that are sitting right here, but my hands are wet. And so I'll go back to the beginning. Okay, so my host is not open to the light practice. It's like, if it's okay, if it's good for you, it's good for you. And that's fine. But we agree on some things, like on the power of gratitude. And that's where I started with this practice, because the light practitioner, the Sukhya Mahikari that I follow, is 3 great virtues are gratitude, acceptance for the will of God, and humility. And we were talking the other day, and oh, thank you, I got 4 thumbs up. That acceptance piece can be really hard. So I started a couple of years ago, yeah, 2.5, in gratitude, and started with gratitude coloring book journals, pen name Willow Sage. Color in this picture and think about everything you're grateful for today, and then write 3 things that you're grateful for on the other side of the page. And there was a system to it, and it was a way to get into gratitude. And then I went from there to keeping a note in my phone. It's called My Daily Gratitude, and it's random, 12:55 p.m. I'm so very grateful for the lunch that I just had, the people that I sat with, and the sun and the sky. You're grateful the air that you breathe. Oh, I love that, nobody. Okay, yeah. So this daily prayer call that I've mentioned, the woman who generally opens it, one of her things is, thank you for the very breath we breathe. It's free. And, it's all that we need. And once we have the breath and it's free, everything else comes to us. And thank you, because we know that you provide everything. And and that acceptance piece can be hard, but I've come to the point where, you take some coarse sayings, and so I rephrase them. When the fertilizer hits the fan, when when that big dump truck filled with manure backs up to your life and lifts the dump bed, you call it fertilizer. You place seed. You say, thank you for the fertilizer. Can I have a little sunshine and water too, please? And you sprout and you grow and you blossom. And and by saying thank you for that, and Greg and I were talking, that's hard. And I was saying where I started with being differently abled and having to use a cane, getting to use a cane, and bringing Matilda into my life, we now have Matilda too, was thank you for the pain in my hip. I hadn't learned by then to say, this transitory experience, I was still owning that in my hip. And for it's, reminding me that I'm alive and I have another day to serve, and it's reminding me to appreciate life at a slower pace. And yeah, so I'm back to I'm grateful for the air that we breathe. And it has slowly, it's taken a couple of years. But now, yeah. I was in the Walmart last week looking for a new computer because the last laptop that I have is starting to shut down a browser on me routinely. All those tabs that I had open, boom, are gone. And when that happens several times in an hour, it's time to go computer shopping. And so I went computer shopping and I found one that I liked, and I, had everything. Went up to the counter. I want that one. And they looked and they said, it's out of stock. And I said, what about, you're grateful for healthy bowel movement each day. Steve, that is very something to be grateful for. Absolutely. More power to you. So the computer is out of stock. I ask about the floor model. They say you don't want the floor model. Don't offer to sell it to me. I ask about the computer being available at any other Walmart stores. I was about to be traveling. I'd be going by a bunch of them. And the answer was, it's out of stock everywhere. And so my response to that was, well, obviously, I'm meant to have a better one next month. So, yeah. And I got to share that again on the way out of the store. And having that kind of outlook, whereas, it wasn't all that long ago where I would, either demand to be sold the store model or be trying to find another way to order just that one or whatever. It's like, no, okay, I got the sign from the universe or spirit guardian or ancestors, whomever, thank you. You're not meant to buy it now, but that means something better's coming, and I know it. I'm no longer frustrated by these things. Yeah. So in a little while, how long have I been talking? Okay. Going to Palm Springs Airport to pick up a rental car, and tomorrow I'm going to, I guess it's going to Long Beach Airport to start, but this weekend I have, for my spiritual practice, a secondary level class, and it's not something that you get too easily. And so I'm excited about that, and I have some reading that I get to be doing soon, and maybe I ought to be prioritizing my time differently instead of live streaming with you. But I just wanted to say, yeah, it's good to be alive, and it's good to have these teachings fueling my life, and it's good to have conversations with people. There was a conversation yesterday with someone who didn't see the point of going to church every Sunday when church was in the heart and in the home, and we talked about being in the garden and being connected to the earth, and I could relate, and his objection to tithing, and God doesn't need the money, and I talked about the spiritual practice that I have, and how what the organization asked for is my spiritual cord, offering. For this, my spiritual cord offering to be able to keep that connection with my precious Omitama current is $7 a month. And he's like, that's reasonable. And I'm like, yeah, $7 a month. And if people go inactive, often they'll have a parent or a friend who will keep that $7 a month active for them in case they change their mind, or when they change their mind, the cord has stayed current. It's important. All right. Yeah, I've been going on 15 minutes. There are 4 of you here, so thank you for staying. Go out, spread your smiles today. Smiles are infectious, just like the flu, but better. They uplift the world around you and make somebody else feel good. I really love like going through a Walmart or any grocery places where people are busy, stores in particular, in the grocery stores, and they're focused and they're often grumpy. And when you catch their eye and you just smile at them, and they're like, and they smile back, and you know you've made somebody's day. You were here a couple of days ago. Well, thank you. Welcome back. I trust you're a subscriber, and if not, please subscribe. All right. I love you all. Come back again, and I'm going to go swimming and then go to the airport and pick up a car. Alrighty. Love you. Take care. Thank you for being. Spread those smiles.